Learn here, accomplish now, through gatherings, discussions, and being enriched by others. Explore here, make now, through projects, experiences, and endeavours unveiling new paths. Evolve here, change now, through new perspectives, engagements, and actions that challenge the rules. Share here, reveal now, through learning, experimentation, and unlocking new vocations. Awaken here, create now, through inspiring generations driving progress in the world. Here and now, Lyon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks a lot to be there with us. You're watching Campus France Live, and today we're going to talk about higher education in France and to discover a new school and a new program with Lyon Business School and the MSc in Finance. I'm very pleased to welcome our guest today, Jean-Pascal Brivady. Hello.
Hi.
You're the program director. Just next to you, we are with Saran TOURE. Hello.
Hello.
You're one of the student ambassadors, and directly with us in Lyon, I'm very pleased to welcome France Bachelot. Hello.
Hello.
You're the program director. We're also with Nathan Favre. Hello, Nathan.
Hello.
You're one of the student ambassadors, and we are with Yunjie Bao. Hello.
Hello.
Student ambassador also of the program. You can begin to ask all the questions that you have about the MSc in Finance and the Lyon Business School. But to begin, can you please, France, present Lyon Business School in a few words?
Yeah, so Lyon is one of the leading management schools in France and over the world. The ranking of the FT, we are the 15th. And fourth in QS or at Universal, so we're really a top school. We have a lot of alumni, like 36,000 alumni, and we have 7 campuses over the world, 4 in France, in Lyon, of course, Écully, and it will be in Lyon in a few years. We have also in Saint-Étienne for the Bachelor, in Paris for the Bachelor also, and we have Shanghai, China, and we have 2 campuses in India, Bhubaneswar and Bombay, and we have also 1 campus in Africa, in Morocco, in Casablanca. We have more or less 9,000 students in the full-time education, and also we have many programs for executives in Écully and Paris mainly.
And what are the different programs that you offer at Lyon Business School?
Sorry, I didn't hear your question.
What are the different programs of Lyon Business School?
Okay, for the full-time education, we have a Bachelor in Saint-Étienne and Paris. We have the Programme Grande École, and we have Specialized Master. We have Specialized Master and MSc. And the MSc in Finance is one of the Specialized Master. So we have 4 programs for full-time education.
Jean-Pascal, can you tell us a few words about the MSc in Finance? What is it exactly? How long does it last?
Well, it's a 9-month program as far as the academic period is concerned, followed by a minimum of 4-month internship and a master thesis to be completed within 18 months, all in. It's, let's say, M1, M2. We are recruiting students with the M1 or M2 level, and we are preparing them for their future career, whether they are working in corporate finance or in market finance.
And France, for the other programs, how long do they last?
Oh, for the other programs, for the Bachelor, it's a 4-year program. And for Programme Grande École, it's a 3-year program after 2 years of prep schools or an undergraduate and licence. So a 3-year Bachelor.
And Jean-Pascal?
So it's a 5-year program in total. But perhaps we can focus on the MSc in Finance now.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about the MSc in Finance, and if you have questions about the program, don't hesitate to ask them on the chat sections. Jean-Pascal, in which language is the MSc in Finance taught?
Well, let me tell you a few words about history. I mean, 4 years ago, it was there were two programs, one in French, fully in French, and another one fully in English. When we decided to develop the MSc in Finance, we decided to prolong the history of the program and keep part of the program in French to give the opportunity to French-speaking students to do their specialization, the specialized track, either in French or in English. But all in, I should say that more than 70% of the program is taught in English.
Okay. And what are the different accreditations of the program?
Well, the program is accredited by Conférence des Grandes Écoles. That is a non-profit French, I would say, regulator. And we have also an accreditation from different international institutions. Maybe France, you can put some color on my.
Yeah, we have 3 international accreditation. We have EQUIS, ACCSB, and Emery. So we have, I think we are part of the 1% of management school having this triple accreditation, international ones.
And we're now going
for
to
the school.
Thanks a lot. We're now going to focus on the different students and the reason they decided to come at Lyon and to study this program. Let's begin with you, Saran. Can you tell us a few words about your background? What did you do before joining Lyon Business School? And then tell us the reasons you decided to study the MSc in Finance.
Sure. Thank you for having me, though. And so I was in Ivory Coast because that's where I'm originally from. So I was there until I did my high school diploma, and after my high school diploma I went to the US, and I did a bachelor in mathematics and another bachelor in finance. I mean in economics with a minor in finance. And then after that I worked in a bank for 2 years. But the reason why I wanted to be in the program is mostly because math and finance, that's too broad. I mean, in economics, that's too broad subject. So I wanted to narrow my choices when it comes to career wise in my professional project. So I wanted to be specialized in a special topic. So that's when the MS in finance came in hand, because I was looking for a master where I would do more of a quantitative and at the same time be into apply it to the finance. So that's why I chose to do the MS in finance with a specialty in marketing quantitative finance.
That's really interesting, and that's a really impressive profile. We're going to talk a little more about the profile that you're looking for in the school. Nathan, can you also tell us a few words about your background, about the reason you decided to join Lyon Business School?
Yes, so I did a BBA in hospitality management with a specialization in hotel development and finance. So through this BBA, I had the opportunity to get my first taste of what finance could be like. And as I really liked it, I wanted to pursue and broaden my knowledge on this specific sector. So I looked for a master's in finance. I looked at the rankings, I looked at everything, and I finally set my choice on Lyon, and this is why I'm here now.
And you, Yunjie, what was your background before joining Lyon Business School, and what were the reasons you decided to study at the MSc in Finance?
So my background is compared to others a bit complicated, because first 2 years I was studying in China in a Chinese university, but I was majoring kind of mathematics and statistics. And then 3rd and 4th year, I joined Lyon Business School Global BBA program. And I feel myself really like the school, and I like the atmosphere here. So I decided to stay in the school for MSc Finance. In terms of the reason why I choose in finance is because of my uncle. because my uncle works in a UBS as a wealth management manager, and I find his job is quite cool, and I would like to do the same job as him. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
If you're joining us, thanks a lot to be there today. We are exploring Lyon Business School and the MSc in Finance, and we're going to talk more about the program. Jean-Pascal, how is the pedagogy organized, and what do we concretely study in the MSc in Finance?
Should I answer finance?
Yeah.
No, I think it's a bit easy. So, well, basically, the idea is to have a comprehensive path throughout finance. And when we are talking about finance, we discussed a bit earlier before, there is here, two different schools. Because on one hand, you have people working the markets, and they consider that nothing else except the market exists. And on the other hand, we have people working in corporate finance, dedicated to the corporates, and they consider that market is just, I would say, nuts. So in between, the ambition of the program is to take, the best of these two, and to give the opportunity to the students, to offer the opportunity to the students to make a choice and have a good connection with what is behind, because behind the company you have economy, and behind the company you have a business model. Looks easy to said like that, but it's not as easy as it is to translate that into finance, financial products, and so on. And the idea or the ambition of the program is to I would say train very complete professionals, not only technical specialists.
And concretely, maybe Saran, you can describe a little bit the different classes that you have, that you're following. Can you describe what you're doing right now?
Sure. So the first part of the semester was more of the core part of it. So we all had the same classes. We had the basic classes, meaning like accounting. We had some statistics class, and now the second part of the semester, we're doing more of the specialty. So each one of us is in the program that the specialization that they chose. So me in MQF.
What is it, MQF?
MQF, so that's Market and Quantitative Finance.
Okay.
Yes. So me as an MQF student right now, we're having like a portfolio. We had a portfolio management class. So that's mostly we had like the courses for learning how to do the portfolio management based on the CFA, and we had the class based on the actual background, meaning that the actual calculation that you actually do for portfolio management. And then we have a lot of projects, which is the main one of the main things that we do in like each one of the classes is coming together and doing project, trying to learn how to like it will work if you were in an office and you have to like work with a group of people. So this is how the class has been, the dynamic of the class right now.
Jean-Pascal, what are the other specialties that you offer in the program?
Well, to wrap up what was said just before, on one hand, we have a common track lasting from September to December to make sure that all the students have the same background, because we are very happy to recruit students from different geographies, but also with different backgrounds. And not 100% of them are familiar with what I will call, business and finance. And after that, we move to, a second semester where we are splitting the cohort in two. On one hand, corporate finance, and corporate finance means, all the financial techniques you can provide to corporates, from leverage finance, sorry to be a bit technical, but from leverage finance to, I would say, option and derivatives, to forecasting, to financial analysis, to valuation, etc., etc. That's the first part. And on the other hand, we have market and quantitative finance. Well, behind that, you have always the image of the trader, working on the markets, staring at the screens, looking at
There's
the...
a lot of phone calls everywhere.
Exactly, just like in the movie.
Yeah, of course.
Incredible. No,
that's not like that in the...
Not exactly,
reality.
but we have the screens anyway.
Okay.
And the idea is to give them a very good practice on two things. First, of course, technical tools, and we can talk about valuation options. We can talk about portfolio management. We can talk about, you know, sophisticated derivative products, commodities, or whatever, all asset classes on one hand, and on the other hand, to have a good understanding of how to model them, because behind a product, behind a price, there is a model, and the model can run easily as long as you can program it. So that's a combination between programming skills, but more than that, algorithms and financial products and financial theory.
And what is the balance between practical and theoretical courses? Because I imagine that in the finance, with all the math that you have behind, you can go really, really deep in the theory. So where do you stop and say, okay, maybe after that it's too much?
Let me be a bit provocative. I would say theory is available over internet. So there is no, I mean, you need even a spreadsheet or tool or whatever you can find. Then the question is, it is useless as long as you do not understand what you are putting in. So what we are trying to teach to our students is to reason about the tools more than to use the tools first. And second, you know, the ambition is also to make, I will say, deal makers. And do not imagine necessarily, you know, Michael Douglas in the famous movie we were talking about, but people who are talking to other people to convince them to make a deal. Whatever the deal is, whatever the field is, you know, because behind that, there are human behaviors, and you cannot make a deal without convincing the people you have in front of you, even if you have the most sophisticated algorithms.
Yunjie, can you tell us how you decided the specialty you took? How did you make your decision?
Well, I am currently in CFI, which is Corporate Finance and Innovation track. Honestly, at the very beginning, when I applied to the school, I choose MQF because I know that my background was more mathematics and statistics. But then I realized probably my interests were more on the corporate finance because I would like to talk to people, and I would like to do a job like M&A. It's kind of like a human's work that cannot never be replaced by AI or robots. So it's kind of a job of future. So that's why I stayed in the corporate finance track instead of MQF. Thank you.
And Jean-Pascal, do you have projects for your students related to the professional world?
Well, yeah, of course, because we forgot something when we discussed about the program, is that all the contributions provided by, you know, professionals, approximately, I would say 50% of the courses are delivered by professionals who are coming here to, you know, teach and share with the students their skills, of course, but also their experience and as well as their network. So it's a triple opportunity for the students to discuss about technique, of course, to discuss about implementation, and to discuss about, you know, how to start and what we can do if we can discuss with you as a professional. So we have people from venture funds, we have people from, globally speaking, private equity funds, we have people from the financial markets, we have people from banks, from insurances, from brokers, etc., and all of them are, you know, building this community. We try to develop with the students in order to give them the first good feeling and the first access to their future professional career.
And is it possible to learn French during the program also for the non-French speakers?
Maybe
Yunjie
could answer.
Yunjie, were you a French speaker before joining Lyon Business School?
I'm not a French speaker up to now, still not. But honestly, if you join this program, you have the opportunity to learn French because we have different level of French classes to meet different levels of students. I mean, in terms of language level.
And how is
perhaps
Sorry?
French you were trying to talk, I think?
Yes, perhaps I can add something. We organized courses for foreign students We have two groups of beginners and intermediates in French, but it's really to help them live in France. In order to get a job, they need to work on their own, but they can learn French, yes, in our program.
And Yunjie, how is your French going right now? Are you able to travel, to discuss with local people, or is it still a little bit complicated?
Well, honestly, it's still a little bit complicated. My level right now is I understand most of the French when people talk, but not all of them, and I cannot really speak really fluently. But if you live in France, it will be no problem because you only have to master basic sentences, and that will be quite enough.
And that's really good, because sometimes people can think that you don't understand them, and that a key skill and for the negotiation can also be a really interesting skill. We're now going to talk about the admission process, because maybe you're asking yourself how to join the Emlyon Business School and how to register in the MSc in finance. France, what background do you require? We can see with the different students that we have here today that they come from different schools, sometimes from different countries, and it's still possible for them to join. So what is their common points?
As Jean-Pascal said, and you've seen that, the program is quite technical. So we expect some candidates with a solid background in mathematics, economics, of course. And as Jean-Pascal said also, we need to negotiate deals and to educate them to make deals, so to have also good relationships. So we need top level candidates. No, I'm just kidding. To be honest, what we want motivated students with a solid background in mathematics and statistics. Of course, if they don't have it, they will work harder to obtain the good level for their specialization. So we expect also candidates having really a defined professional project, or is really good motivation for finance. It's a really elitist and selective world with hard workers and good at everything. So we really want people who are really motivated. And so that's why we expect some masters or backgrounds in masters or in bachelor. We also can recruit some candidates with a 3-year bachelor, provided that they have an experience in finance, more than 1 or 2 years. And also what is important for us is diversity. We talked about the international diversity, but also the background. So I would say the majority of our students have a background in management, but also we love engineers, even if they don't have an experience or they have a limited experience in finance. And we also have diversity in backgrounds, like Nathan in hospitality, but we can also recruit some candidates with a background in law. What will be the difference is that they will work harder on mathematics in the first period. And perhaps, Nathan, you can talk about that.
Yes, obviously, compared to maybe others, for example, my background is less centered around mathematics. So compared to others, during the beginning, when we were viewing the statistics classes, it was newer for me than it was for other students. But I mean, this should not be the reason why you don't apply for such a master, because this is absolutely doable. Obviously, like France Bachelot mentioned, you will have to study more. You will have to get familiar with the concepts that some other students already are familiar with. But in the end, if you work hard, you manage to do it. So whatever background you're from, as long as you're willing to put the effort into learning what you want to learn, you will be able to do it.
And what are the different steps, France, to apply to the MSc?
Oh, regarding the steps, so candidates must fill the admission file, the application file. It's quite complete, and it will be reviewed by the admission and commercial department first. And once it's complete and approved, candidates will have some tests. We don't expect all candidates to have the TAJMAJ, TOEFL, TOEIC. It's not mandatory to apply for the MSc in Finance because we have our own psychometric tests based on scientific criteria. So they will have these tests to perform with some questions also, and that's all. Everything is online. The application is 100% in English, even for the questions, and that's all.
And what is the deadline for the application process?
I think the application process started in November and will end in July. It depends on the candidates we have. So roughly we have 6 to 7 application sessions.
Okay, so it lets
until July.
It lets time for the future students. Saran, maybe can you give us some advice in order to have a successful admission process? How did it go for you? And what would you say to the people watching us today wanting to join the school? What would be your little tips?
Honestly, my admission process wasn't that hard because usually I have like a lot of questions, and the program advisor, not the program advisor, sorry, the program coordinator was really like it was really like available every time that I sleep and wake up with a new question. He was available, so that was easy for me. And then beside that, I did take the JRE, which was not needed for this exam. I mean, for this admission process. But overall, my admission was not. I thought it was gonna be very hard, but I feel like the fact that I've studied a little and I tried to like put my mind on the fact that okay, maybe I have to like get prepared. It made it not that easy talking about the actual psychotic test. And then beside that, another like the only tips I can give is that you really need to know English, because that's I think the whole program. Maybe for some of the CFI classes, you have some in French, but mostly if you want to do the marketing quantitative finance, you have to do you have to know English. You have to know like not every, but you have to partially know very much English.
So that's important, and to
Yes.
be prepared to the maybe technical vocabulary that you can have in finance.
Exactly.
I imagine that there is a lot. France, how do you help students with the different steps to come to France? Because after the admission, you have all the visa procedure, all the different steps to find an accommodation. What kind of help do you provide them?
Not the program directors, but in the school, we have several departments that can help students. First, the admission department, we have some advisor that will help students, inform them, as Sarah said. And then we have a student department. I think the real name is Student Affairs and International Student Affairs. So they can inform them about the visa, any constraints, any rules. And we also have our program coordinators for any question related to the program to help them choose their specialty, because they need to define their specialty before entering, even if in the program they can change their mind during the first 2 months.
And
so we have several departments to help them.
Thanks a lot, and we are now going to talk about the student life. How is it like to study at Lyon Business School and to live, work and study at Lyon? Maybe we will begin with you, Yunjie. Can you describe a little bit what your life is at Lyon Business School?
My life in Lyon Business School. First, Lyon Business School is located in a town called Emery, which is not far away from Lyon Center. So if you of course, in this program, you should spend more time to study because courses are quite intense. But if you want to have party or if you want to chill in your spare time, you can easily go to the center of Lyon to experience the city, to discover the city. And I think the life here is quite good. I like it.
And you have different events, Nathan, organized on campus. Can you tell a few words about them?
There are many events. We'll not be able to list all of them, but basically you have different student associations that organize various events, sports events, parties, you name it, you have it. But after there is in the MSc in finance particularly, we are pretty busy. So obviously you will have this great range of events that you can attend to, but do not expect to be able to attend every single one of them. You will have this great range. You could choose. You can have as much fun as you want. Yet you will have to also study the required amount of time to master the basics. So there are a lot of things we can do. Like Yunjie said, we can go to Lyon. There are various activities, but we also need to study on the side.
And Yunjie, sometimes when you decide to go and study in another country, in another city, that could be difficult. Did you have some fears before joining Emlyon Business School and before going to Lyon? And how did you overcome them?
Well, before I came to France, I was actually afraid that I cannot really talk fluently with local students. But after I came here, I already know this is probably going to happen. So I did my best to talk to them proactively. Is that the word? Yeah. So in the end, I find myself quite comfortable to communicate with a local student, also other international students. There's no problem.
And the fact that you come from different backgrounds, different countries, I imagine that it's something that helps to break the glass and to talk easily with the others.
Yeah, for sure. Because a lot of students in our school actually traveled either to Asia or any other country. Like this, we can have a common topics to get closer to each other. It will be easier for also international students to have an icebreaker. That's it.
And Saran, how would you describe your student experience at Emlyon Business School?
Honestly, I am enjoying the student life. To be honest, like Yunjie, before coming, I had this little idea of, oh, am I going to settle right? Like coming from Africa, then going to America, then coming here, it was a little, my only worry was more about, was I going to settle quicker or no? But, you know, when it comes to school, it's more like I said, every project that you have, you come out with at least 2 friends. So it's easy to like make friends on campus and be with them outside of campus. And like Nathan says as well, there is not that much time with the MSc. Like we have just 9 months of classes to do every single topic. So it's not that easy to like have that much party. But at the end of the day, you have like, you can be proud that you will have friends all around the world because the diversity in the whole program is very like concentrated.
And you will have friends all around the world, and maybe you will travel and work all around the world. And we are going to talk about the different professional experiences that you can have during and after the program. First of all, France, can you tell us if it's possible to do an internship? Maybe it's mandatory to do an internship during the MSc.
Yes, it's mandatory to do the internship. So as Jean-Pascal said, we start in September and they have courses until June. And then they must do an internship starting in July, not before. Because sometimes they want to start before, but it's not possible. But normally we should go to the US if sanitary criteria are fine for that. So at the end of June, we travel to the US for a business trip. or an international seminar, and then they can start their internship 4 to 6 months. And this internship can also start in September or a little bit later. They should start their internship between July and, I would say, January or March the following year, and we'll help them, I think, quite a lot to find their internship with the Career Center. They organize many events to help them find companies, banks, advisory companies. So there is a forum, but also some dedicated events to finance. And we also help them through workshops dedicated to their employability, and also with individual coaching. And we organize also mock interviews to help them find their internship or to be prepared to find their internship. We also have a specific program for students interested in summer internship. So summer internship, it's quite specific. It's for students wanting to have their internship in July and August in London with specific criteria, with banks located in London. So it's a specific program that begins in early September, because application is until October, November. So it's very early in the year.
And Saran, are you already looking for an internship? Do you already know what you want to do as an internship?
Yes. So I only, to be honest, I only started looking for my internship starting this month, because I was a little not sure about my professional project, and that's when the professional coaching that France talked about came in end, because I had the opportunity to have this professional coaching, which helped me to like have a bigger picture on where exactly, like what specific position will be good with, you know, every single thing that I explained during the coaching. So yes, I have started looking for internship in like portfolio management or asset management, but I'm still looking, and I haven't found one yet, but I'm sure it's in the way.
You have time, because you're telling us we're in February and it's for July, so not all the students are looking for that early. Maybe Yunjie, you can tell us also about the kind of opportunity you're looking for.
As a student of CFI track, I'm actually looking for M&A and private equity opportunity, but according to what I know, private equity is pretty hard for new starters. So I focus more on M&A because I will have a bigger chances. And based on my personal experiences before, I would like to try the medium deal size banks instead of the bulge bracket, because I know probably I didn't have much M&A experiences before, and I would try from the smaller banks. Yeah.
And Nathan, can you describe what you're looking for also?
Well, I will not be very original on that point. I'm also looking for private equity or M&A, and for exactly the same reasons. Private equity is very competitive. Normally, it's pretty hard if you don't have prior experience. So I'm willing to start first with M&A and then try to jump to private equity later.
Jean-Pascal, what are the different job opportunities for the students after the MSc?
Guess what? Private equity, M&A. No, global. Well, globally speaking, I will not review all the catalog of the different opportunities we can find in the market. But who is recruiting our students? First, banks. And when I'm talking about banks, I'm more talking about investment banks. Okay, covering different businesses, different activities, like all activities related to the markets, in coordination or in relation with the companies, so providing corporates financial means with or without an access to the market. So banks, then advisory firms, consulting firms, they are hiring approximately 25 90% of our students, and they are training for future careers in relation with finance. Then you have effectively, but generally at a later stage, the funds, investment funds, asset management, who are interested in also our students. And something that has developed pretty fast over the last 5, or I would say over the last decade, is all jobs related to compliance, etc., etc. And what is emerging as a sort of bridge between all of that is, I would obviously say, ESG, you know, environment, social, and governance. Sorry, and I'm talking about a bridge. I mean, it's not a different function, but it's a different way to do your job, considering that the rules are changing or have changed already, and you have to consider different objectives compared to what you were used to.
And what are the salaries that the students can expect at the end and after they graduate?
Well, I would say just after, you know, these businesses have a very specific characteristic. That is, there is a fixed part and the variable part, and the bonuses are generally what everybody's expecting. We're at the end of February and they are paid now.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the deal. Well, apart from that, I would say, and maybe France would supplement my point, I would say just after being graduated, generally, the wages are in a range between, I would say, 35 to 55 K euros, assuming that when I'm talking about 55, it's because I'm also considering London, where the salaries are a bit higher, or used to. And, well, according to our own surveys, after 3 years, as long as our alumni is performing very well, because this is, as we said, a very challenging, we are preparing students for very challenging jobs. You know, the target is, let's say, to at least double this initial wage, including, you know, all the different aspects of the packages, bonuses, and so on.
So they're doing pretty well, France.
Yes, that's true. And Jean-Pascal talked perhaps more about corporate finance, but in market finance, the bonuses can be huge. So it's difficult to give you a range or an average salary. We, or the school, performed a survey last year with alumni of the program, and the average was 62K. But 62K takes into account market finance and corporate finance. So, of course, as Jean-Pascal said, it depends on who did answer to the survey and where they work. Because in London or in New York, of course, salaries are higher than in France. So even the range is difficult. I would say in corporate finance, it's more around 45 to 50, bonuses included, and in market finance, it's higher than that. And juniors increase their salary very, very quickly. After 3 years, they can double it.
We are now at the end of this live session, but before leaving you, you're all going to conclude with a few words, not something really long, but an advice, a piece of advice for the students who plan to come to France to study at Lyon Business School. Let's begin with you, Yunjie. What would be your piece of advice for the student watching us today?
Well, honestly, I think first you should master English, because as Jean-Pascal said, most of the classes are taught in English, and you have to master the technical concept of the finance as well. And also, if you want to live in France, I mean, live a better life in France, is better for you to learn a tiny bit of French. I mean, not so advanced, it's just a daily conversation thing to ensure your life in France is good, is not that difficult. And also get prepared to work hard, because this program is quite intense. And for those students from different backgrounds, if they are not familiar with the calculations before, it will take them more time to study and pass exam. That's my advice.
Nathan, what would be your advice for the people watching us today?
Well, we've seen the backgrounds that normally would be looked for this master's, but if you do not have the perfect like quantitative background that they look for, you can still do it. The thing is, whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve it, but you will need to work hard. So if you are interested in joining this master, but if you are a bit worried that you don't have the exact, like the perfect background that they will be looking for, don't hesitate and jump into it, but be prepared to study a lot to catch up. But everything you set your mind onto, you can reach it. So if you're interested, go for it.
France Bachelot, what would be your advice for the people watching us today?
For the students, I would say, I assume that you will be very motivated, and as Yunjie and Nathan said, you will have to work hard, so motivation is really important. I assume and I hope they also have fun, because there is a great solidarity in the group. That's what I've seen in soft skills courses and team building events that we organize for students also. So if you're motivated, if you really know what you want and really want to work in finance and be part of this world, please join, and we will do our best to support you, to help you, provided, as students said, that you work and you really want to be graduated.
Saran, what would be your advice?
Well, it'll go in the same way as them. Like be motivated, of course, and then be prepared mentally, because if you come from another country to come to France, then you're coming to a new life. So be able to make sacrifices, know that you're coming to study, but like prepare your mind for everything that's gonna come up, and then at the end of the day, it's an experience, and it's going to not last that long unless you want it to. So just make the best out of it and try to take your chance.
Jean-Pascal, the last advice is for you.
Hi, thank you. I would say France is a very good place to learn finance, even in English. And second, well, finance is incredible. I mean, it's probably a word when you threw it into the conversation during an evening dinner that will probably raise a lot of discussions and controversies and so on. But I think with finance, you can imagine a lot of things, from microfinance to big finance, from responsible finance to non-responsible finance or whatever, from technical to just deal making, etc., etc. So it's incredible scope. And we think we have convinced you that our program can provide that opportunity to you in a very special environment that is mixing a lot of things, including the good life, just simply the good life. Okay? As long as you are motivated and you work hard. That's what everybody has said here around the table.
So your travel through the world of finance can begin at Lyon Business School.
Exactly.
Thanks a lot, Jean-Pascal, Saran, France, Nathan, and Yunjie for having been with us today. And thanks to you for having watched us. If you still have questions, don't hesitate to keep on asking them on the chat section, because the team of Lyon Business School is going to answer all of them, and you can visit the website of Lyon Business School. See you soon on Campus France Live.